Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Kengan chapter 91. This chapter does not have any sort of super huge reveals like we did for last chapter and other previous chapters, so I don't have as much to say about this chapter, but there are a few things to talk about. First of which is Jiaji's backstory of his encounter with Lu Tian. So Edward Wu is pissed that Lu Tian is another worm member. He seems to have no idea about it. And it's because of this that we go into a backstory of another time Jiaji almost got killed by someone, and that was by Lu Tian. So it seems like Lu Tian was someone that Jiaji viewed as a threat to him becoming the head of the worm. So it seems like there is some sort of succession thing for them. And I guess Lu Tian, in large part due to him being a student of Takeda Nico and him being an outsider, which is another thing. That's sort of a confirmation that the Tiger Nico is not really a member of the worm. It's sort of more like with the Wu clan, where they're just an associate of the worm, but they're not actually a member of it. So it seems to be the same for Tiger Nico. So for Lu Tian, it's like he's a member of the worm, but he's not like a super important member of the worm, but he still tries to get rid of him anyway. They have some sort of argument over Jiaji running away from the Gu ritual, which is interesting. So apparently this is something that other worm members go through semi-normally. I assume that Lu Tian and the other people like him are sort of the connecting thing between Tiger Nico and the worm. It's like it's a program that he runs for the worm so that they can have these soldiers. Though Jiaji says that they're replaceable, so I'm wondering who the irreplaceable members of the worm are. Jiaji seems to think he is one of those, and Lu Tian thinks that he isn't. But Jiaji sends some goons to fight Lu Tian, and they get fucking off-screened. They get killed, like, immediately. But Lu Tian decides that he doesn't hate Jiaji's attitude towards always trying to get something in his hands by any means. Like, no matter what it takes, he'll try and strive after whatever he wants. So he's cool with that, and he thinks that Jiaji continuing to do what he does will be useful to the worm, so he decides to let him live, which is interesting. Now, that's most of the only big important thing that happens in this chapter. At the end of it, we do see that Agito is on the ground getting stomped on by Lu Tian. Okubo is freaked out that martial arts isn't working. Gaolang has to tell him to calm down. And Kano says, "Alright, it's all over for you now." So I think this probably means that next chapter we are going to get some sort of flashback for Kano, either right at the start, or there's going to be something like a big attack that he does, and then we go into a flashback. But I think we're definitely going to be seeing something from Agito's past in the next chapter, and considering we already saw a little bit of his flashback to the Gu ritual before he started using the formless style, I think this is going to be a flashback to what he was doing after the Annihilation Tournament, because he's going to be doing something new, quote-unquote. He may not necessarily be doing something like super new, but like maybe a new move or something like that. That seems fairly plausible to me. Although Agito is on the ground, no one has really taken the upper hand in the fight so far. You had Agito pushing around Lu Tian a bit once he went into martial arts at the start of this chapter. We got more cool stuff with the way that they're drawing the Formless. I really do like the way that they've refined the way Formless works. If you remember back in Ashura, it was just sort of turning into like this putty. Like that was the way they portrayed it. Whereas in this case, it's like turning into water or some kind of liquid. So with the way Lu Tian uses it, it's almost like sort of this implied movement. We have a little sequence where Agito palm strikes Lu Tian in the face, which like sends him reeling like head over heels, and it looks like the top of his body has just melted and is bending around, But, of course, that hasn't really happened, so it's just how they're showing the way that he's spinning in the air. It's really cool. I'm a big fan of it. So you had a bit of Agito pushing back against Lutien, then Lutien doing some leg sweeps and, stomping on Agito at the end. But I don't think anyone's actually drawn blood yet at this point in the fight, so they're both fairly even, and I feel like the person who is going to break that balance is going to be Agito. And that's going to happen with him using something in the next chapter. I'm not sure what that is yet. We have seen him switch between formless and martial arts already. We haven't seen him do that crazy stuff he did against Kuroki where he was almost, borderline using them both at the same time. Maybe he will be able to do that now, which would be kind of crazy. But I do expect that we'll probably see something like that at some point. It'll just totally overwhelm Lutien, because Formless was able to keep up with him a little bit, and Martial Arts was able to push him back. But neither one of those individually was able to beat Lutien, and I do think the key to Agito's victory here is the fact that he has mastered both Martial Arts and the Formless style. That's what puts him above someone like Lutien, who is just a perfect practitioner of Formless. Agito has gone beyond the Formless style. He's much more than that now. And I think that is where Lutien's downfall is going to come from. So, overall, pretty good chapter. This fight is turning out very well so far. I'm very pleased with it. And I'm looking forward to what we're going to see from it next. I think it's going to go on for a bit longer. I think we may get this for another month or so. We could get another 3 or 4 chapters out of this. I do think this one's going to be on the longer end of the fights. How many have we gotten already? I think this is the 3rd chapter of the fight. So we could go for a 6 or 7 chapter long fight. That sounds pretty reasonable to me. So we'll just have to see what happens. I've still got money on my boy Agito. I think he's definitely going to pull through at the end with this one. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Kengan Omega chapter reviews every week. If you enjoy other series such as Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, and Record of Ragnarok, I do videos on those series as well, so if you're interested in those, you should definitely check out my channel. New chapters of Record of Ragnarok just came out this week, so I've uploaded a few videos in relation to those. If you're interested, you should check them out. If you enjoy discussing Kengan Omega with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce on this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I have a link to it on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.